Yesterday we were in the 17th shloka. Avinasham tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Avinasham tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Idam sarvam tatam. Tatam, that which is permeating and pervading everything that which we call as this, meaning this creation. Every single pore, every single aspect of this creation is nothing but that Paramatma alone, expressing in different formats. That we even understand this one sentence, I think our spirituality will take leaps and bounds. When you walk into this temple, what is the first thing that you do? So there is Ganesh ji, Kartikeya Bhagavan, Hanuman ji, Gurudev and Bhagavān Shiva. You do namaskar. Why do you do namaskar? Because it is the physical representation of those devatas. As soon as we have that attitude of bhakti with which we go down and offer our namaskar. If this concept is understood, then understanding the next concept and trying to implement it should not be that difficult. This entire creation, yena sarvamidam. Last month we saw Ishavasyopanishad, and in the Ishavasyopanishad the first mantra says Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam. All these Upanishads, shlokas, mantras, what are they pointing at? That every aspect of this creation is nothing but that Paramatma alone. Undoubtedly, it is that one principle alone. We come here and offer our salutations in front of Bhagavan because this is the sanctified sanctum sanctorum of that Bhagavan, which you and I have constructed. For that which you and I have constructed, we have Bhakti Bhava. For that which is expressing verily constructed by that Paramatma himself, which is expressing as this creation, how much Bhakti Bhava should be there? Because in every aspect, every tree, every stone, every being, there is nothing but that Paramatma alone. What should our attitude be? Forget about how the world reacts, responds and misuses, abuses. How should my attitude be towards this prapancha, this jagat? That all that I see is that Bhagavan, and what I am doing unto that prapancha is my seva to that Bhagavan. Whether you are at home cooking for husband, children, wife, whether you are taking care of anybody, directly you are, I am not talking about indirectly as an option, directly you are serving that Bhagavan in those many forms. Do we do that? That's why one of my Swami friends says it beautifully. Namaste, namaste, par kuch nahi samajhte. We do namaste. In a good mood, we put both hands together and say namaste. Otherwise, these days, namaste is single-handed. We are told put both hands together and offer the salutations to every being that you interact with. How difficult is it? But instead of seeing that Bhagavan, that Paramatma in and through everyone, in and through everything, what do I see? I see my people and their people. This is the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakudvata Sanjaya. The moment there is my people and your people, there is always going to be a strife between mine and yours. That is the whole delusional perception. If every aspect is that Bhagavan alone, what stops us from seeing that Bhagavan? I mean, He is the one that has created this beautiful, amazing creation. In His own avatars, we find so many varieties. Can't He express in this many different kinds of varieties? Has it to be that I have to come to a temple alone to see that divinity? Can't I evolve myself to see that divinity everywhere? Isn't that what bhakti? If my bhakti is limited only to a certain place, certain time, and the rest of the places it is my vibhakti, far away from bhakti, am I being actually a true devotee? If that mental attitude, if that emotional attitude doesn't change, what sadhana are we doing in the name of sadhana? Avinashitu tadvitti. Though He has expressed Himself in this multitude, the names and forms are vinasha. But the substratum, that which is supporting everything to be expressing in these many formats, that is avinasha, indestructible, indivisible, akhanda. Avinashitu tadviddhi yena sarvam idam tatam. Vinasham asya avyayasya, of such principle which is avyaya tattva. Can anything ever destroy? That indestructible truth that is permeating throughout this creation is called real, is called Paramatma. Time and again, this technique we see through entire Bhagavad Gita. We worship Bhagavān Krishna as Jagat Guru. Vande Jagat Guru. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. His style of portraying the concept, he starts with, see, when you want to write something on the board, if it is a black board, you have to use a white chalk. Then came those, I don't know what boards they are, not smart boards, that is the third stage. Intermediately there was another one where you used to write with, it was a white surface, whiteboard, and you would write with black ink. For our ability to see things properly, we need a background which is of a contrary color. That contrast has to be there so that I can see the other, that which is written on it, clearly. So now that he has given the backdrop of what reality means, what real means, in the next shloka he takes up what the unreal means. There is now a reference point. What is that? He describes in the next shloka, page 224. Repeat after me. 18th shloka. Anta vanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasmadyutyasva bharata antavanta ime dehaha. All these different forms, what are they? Antavantaha, they have a definite end. Anta. Anta in Sanskritam means the end. Antavantaha, endowed with a definite end. We may not ascertain when exactly, but that which has been created, that which has been born, will have to die. In this very land, Bharatavarsha, there have been several different dynasties that have ruled this entire land. That which is of immediate past, a few thousand years, we see the reminiscence of it even today. The forts, the broken forts, the hilltops, we see it even today. Especially in the southern part of India, we also get to see the glimpse of the glorious past through various temples. Some of the temples that I have gone to are close to 1800 years. Sad that in the northern part, they were wiped out clean. Even in the southern part, when you go to Hampi, when you go to Belur, Belur, such beautiful intricate carvings. The key portions have been destroyed. When you go into Hampi, on the left hand side, you will have the Narasimha. Narasimha, on his left side there should be Lakshmi Devi. His Abhaya Hasta has been broken. Lakshmi Devi destroyed, there is no sign of it. Channakeshava temple you go, all the beautiful sculptures. We are talking of that era when there was no lathe machines. But they look like as though they have been laser cut. Such sharp, beautiful details. And some places you go, you want to spend there not just hours, days together to look at each segment of it. Even in its broken existence, they are amazingly beautiful. Imagine when it was intact. So in the northern part you will not find many. You will not find any actually. All those ruins have been moved away. New constructions have come about. That ancient history is only in the memory. The newness removes the ancient and builds something new. At least those who are having the age of at least few thousand years, these cement and mortar kind of buildings, 35-50 years, somewhere in that range, you will have to rebuild them again. That is the capacity of that. It can stay only that long. Civilizations have been born and done. Cultures have been born and done. In that we can claim that we alone in the entire world have an unbroken tradition for several thousands of years. Everything that which is created will get destroyed. We sow trees. After taking good care, suddenly the entire tree will go dry. Its time has come. Sometimes when in redwood forest in California, when you walk there, I even now when I think of it, my hair stands on end. There's those tall redwood trees which have been there since about close to 5,000 plus years. The same time parallelly when Bhagavān Krishna was walking this earth, the same time when Buddha was walking this earth, the same time when great rishis were walking this earth, these trees were samakalina. One lightning strike, they grow very tall. One lightning strike, the entire tree gets decimated without a proof that there was a tree of that stature. One tsunami, everything was wiped out in the coastal belt. In one single swipe, there were close to about 3 lakh people, 3.5 lakh people. There is no signs of them. Everything that gets created will get destroyed. Antavanta ime deha. All the forms, all the names. Oh, what to talk of the names. I am sure you all remember your parents' names. Don't keep staring at me, give a nod at least. Yes? Okay, thank you. Do you all remember your grandparents on both sides? 4 people? Do you remember the great grandparents of all four of them? If you do the Shraddha Karma regularly, parent, grandparent and great grandparents' names should be mentioned. But I see that you have already given my answer, that many of you shook your head left to right. Meaning our own grandparents we don't remember. Forms get destroyed. Names, let alone the world knowing it, our own family members we don't remember. What to talk of names? Antavanta ime deha. But the one that is enlivening that body, in contrast to that which is the external layer, that which is enlivening it, that, how is it? Nityasyoktaha sharirinaha. That which is enlivening the sharira, the form, that is nitya. And what are the other attributes of it? Anashinaha aprameyasya. It is incomprehensible. Many times, even when we hear good music, a good lecture, a good dance, we see all of this, and you come back home, and at home there will be somebody who will ask, how was it? Bah, it was so good today. I can't tell you in words. Simple thing that which you have experienced at a physical format, that itself is indescribable. That which is not comprehensible, how can you describe it? But the words that can point us towards it are nitya anashinaha, that which cannot be destroyed. Even for the destruction of the forms and the names to happen, that is the substratum on which the destruction happens. Nothing happens to that which is enlivening principle. See, in our Shastra, life, when we say prana, when we say life, the enlivening principle, that individual, that Jivatma, we use them synonymously. That life and the Jivatma are one and the same for us. When I went to US, I used to get these peculiar formatted questions which were never asked before. Earlier to that, I had been speaking for about 8 years. I had had several question answer sessions, but these kinds of questions were never in picture. Some questions that they would ask: how can there be population explosion when the number of souls are constant? I'm like, where is this Siddhanta coming from? Then I sat down with the various other religious texts and scriptures. That is when it comes to the picture that in the Abrahamic religions, generally all three of them have the idea that the number of souls are same, constant. The rest of the creation has life in it but has no soul in it. Therefore, they can be used, abused, It is for the enjoyment of the individual. The basic, in Telugu they say Punadi, the foundation for the entire business module of the capitalistic society is the entire creation, the entire nature is for your use. You can abuse it. Why? It has only life, it has no soul. So therefore you can kill it, eat it. The day I realized that that was the definition of soul that they have. Up until late 1800s, the idea was only the white male had soul, even the women had no soul. They were also a property that can be owned, that can be sold, that can be grabbed. Therefore, they needed to have the women liberation movement so that they could have their voice heard. The voting rights came to them way late. Some of the European well-developed nations got it as late as 1960. Some of the Middle Eastern, even to this day, a woman's voice is 1/4 a vote. Meaning if something had to be proven and you have your voice as a woman and there are 3 other men, 3 votes versus quarter vote, which will win? We never needed a women liberation, women forum for women liberation. Because for us, the gender or any other expression of life form is a Jivatma being born in that particular format. We have 8.4 lakh different kinds of species where the Jiva can be born. In all these different kinds of expressions, as soon as there is born, there is birth, it comes with an expiration date. It will perish. But that which is enlivening, that which is constant, that neither is born nor perishes. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya. Therefore, Arjuna, tasmat yudhyasva bharata. Now this one particular sentence of this Bhagavad Gita, next 3-4 shlokas as well. There are several research scholars who have taken this particular shlokas, the 18th, 19th, 20th shloka of Bhagavad Gita. You decontextualize anything, any word, it can be misinterpreted. You have to take it in reference with the flow of thought there. But you pick only those pieces and say, poor Arjuna was the most compassionate one. It was the thought of the inspiration of Bhagavān Krishna, who was a warmongering person, who pushed Arjuna to go fight and kill. So what is the proof? Look at the 18th shloka. What does it say? Tasmat yudhyasva bharata. When people say that you have to stand up for your rights, you have to fight for your rights, are they asking you to go plunder or to stand up? They are asking you to stand up for that which is right, that which is your right. So here Yudhyasva is, of course, the context here is Arjuna's responsibilities in Yuddha. But each one of us have a different set of battlefields. That which is right, that which you know is verifiably the most dharmic way to do, stand up and fight for that which is right. You cannot be a lethargic society claiming that for all things that have to be changed, there has to be an avatar Purusha that has to come and bring changes for us. तुम क्या करोगे? खाना पीना सोना, वो तो पशु भी करता है. आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनंच एतानि पशु लक्षणानि. आहार, food. Until you get food, you have, Telugulo antaru, neerasam. After you have food, you say ayasam, bhukta ayasam. So therefore, after food, immediately, as soon as Madhya Pradesh pulls in, your Uttar Pradesh switches off. You want to sleep. Ahara nidra, bhaya, insecurities, therefore fears. Maithunancha, reproduction of the same progeny of its own kinds. That etani pashu lakshanani, that even a pashu does. If we also live our life like a pashu, what great grand claims are we claiming? That we are the greatest of the entire creation, the human being, the Homo sapien. There is some difference. That which is right, that which is dharmic, that which is dharma, we have to understand that which is dharma and stand up for it. Yudhyasva Bharata. Bharata. Arjuna was addressed as Bharata. What does Bharata mean? It certainly has been interpreted in several different ways. But wherever the interpretations have to be brought in, we have to look at the Sanskrit origin root word. It cannot be haphazard because it can fit in. Somebody was defining, I heard him say, Bhava Raga Tala. Ayyo. The root word is not that. Bha meaning illumination. Therefore we call the sun as Bhaskara, the one who illumines. Prabhakara. Bha means illumination. Bharata, the one who is reveling, Rata, reveling in the illumination. So we are the generation of seekers of knowledge to illumine in that, bask in that illumination of knowledge. As Vivekananda puts it, fear is an expression of ignorance. Fear is an expression of ignorance, therefore it is a weakness. And we are belonging to the proud culture, proud tradition of the ones that are pursuing knowledge. Bharata. Therefore, through Arjuna, he has addressed each one of us. When things are not going right and you have to stand up, you cannot keep singing, Aayega, Aayega. Aayega, aane wala. वो जाएगा भी. If each one of us have to benefit, we have to contribute to stand up for that which is right. Therefore, it is a call for a righteous living, Yudhyasva Bharata. And don't make a statement saying, oh Swamiji, this is Kali Yuga. Wrongdoers are plenty. Look at the Mahabharata war. How many were standing up for dharma? 5 Pandavas. How many were supporting 7 Akshohinis? How many were the wrongdoers? 100. How many were supporting 11 Akshohinis? Further way back, how many times did Parashurama go around the entire earth, uprooting all those adharmic kingdoms? Not once, not twice, about 18 times. And the one who was standing up for dharma was singular, one person. So don't make it like, oh, everybody is like that, therefore I am also like that only. When you go to a party, you don't want to wear a same kind of a sari which other person might have and wear on that day. You want to look uniquely different. Don't we? Thoda sa hat ke, alag, out of the box, something new. Yes, Modi ji has asked us not to buy gold, but the gold that we have, old model, something unique. The names that people keep these days. Na sar, na pair, na aankh, na tang. It felt good when we were hearing. And the stupid internet which will regurgitate anything that which is put in there. Oh, I found it in the internet. I don't want to go into that stream of thought right now. But so many peculiar names which have no meaning in it. For example, one example, there are many people that you may know of. Okay, first let me ask, is there any person who is named here as Chalapati Rao? Chalapati? Anybody here? Okay, good. I can take that example. So I asked somebody as to why Chalapati Rao? Why Chalapati? That is Lord Venkateshwara's name. Then I started researching and found it is a wrong Sandhi Vicheda. His full name is Venkata Chalapati. So they took Chalapati. But it is a wrong Sandhi Vicheda. What should be Sandhi Vicheda? Venkata Achalapati. He is the lord of those 7 hills. Hills are called Achala. Therefore, Venkata Achala. We have even the train, Venkatadri. Adri means mountain. That Adri is Achala. Now, what all names? Somebody had named their son Timir. Timir means what? Darkness, Andhakara. Ignorance. I said, why Timir? I said, it sounded good, it sounded unique. I mean, if you wanted unique names, if you look at the Trishati, Saundarya Lahari and Lalita Sahasranama, Pishachini is also her name. Go name. There was one actress who did the evil role so perfectly. She was a very gentle soul in the Telugu industry. So powerful was her presence on that screen that nobody ever named that name again for their daughter ever again. You know who I am talking about? Surya Kanta. Such a beautiful name. Why? Because the characters that she played And she lived those characters. That you were scared of putting the name, now you put all meaningless names. So when we have to stand up for something that which is right, it is not right to wait upon somebody else that will come and do it. Understand the situation, understand the environment that we are in, and what is my role in it, however small it is, doesn't matter. But to stand for that which is right is what our entire civilization gives us as wisdom. And yet, we keep waiting that the politicians have to make the changes, or somebody powerful should come and make the change. Did you forget that you have that power to put them in that place? So much so that we don't even use that power. When it comes to the time of voting, that is the power that you have. When I can take this topic to so many different aspects, where it is our responsibility to stand up and stand up for that which is right and dharmic. And when people will come and advise, manakenduku lendi. If we ignore as though it is somebody else's, along with the fire which will engulf their house, it will engulf your house also. By then it would be too late. Therefore, don't turn a blind eye. Stand up for that which is right, stand up firm, and do that which is dharmic, always meticulously at every step of the way. Tasmat yudhyasva bharata. Arjuna had his battle to win, we have our battles to win. Giving up and giving in is not an option. Taking the crooked ways is not an option. Standing up, doing the right with the right attitude is the only option. Tasmat yudhyasva bharata. Am I getting across? Now moving to the next shloka. In support of this real and unreal, Bhagavān Krishna, as it is stated in the Gita Dhyanam, Dugdha Gopalanandanaha, he has milked the cows of the Shruti. If Shruti were taking a form as a cow, and Bhagavān Krishna as the cowherd milking those cows, it seems like Bhagavān Krishna has milked maximum from two cows named Kathopanishad and Mundakopanishad. The following verses are from Kathopanishad. So he says, Yayenam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. First of all, this particular mantra comes in Kathopanishad, which has been referred to in Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavān Krishna. In Kathopanishad, when this message is given to Nachiketa, he was not a warrior. Who gave the message to him? Bhagavan Yamadharmaraja gave this to Nachiketa. He is also not a warrior. So as a guru, Yamadharmaraja gave this message to that Shishya who was about 5-6 years old. So the reference that is given is in a human society where we have to behave in a most humane manner towards each other, the most gruesome act that can happen is when we start killing our own kind. No other creature in this creation kills its own kind. It will fight for its own kind. It will defend its own kind. If you have seen enough of Animal Planet and Planet Kingdom, those documentaries, Australian documentaries, African documentaries especially, when a herd of elephant, the weakest of the elephant gets grabbed by the crocodile, do you think the rest of them will run away? They will create such a havoc that that crocodile has to let go. When there is a bison and the baby bison is getting attacked by one of the cat varieties, do you think the rest of the bisons are letting it go? They will circle it up and attack it from all different angles, poking it with their sharp horns. So the most gruesomest act in a human society is when one human kills the other human. He says, even in such gruesomest of the acts that can be envisioned, even in such situations, the one who is killing and the one who is getting killed, what is getting destroyed is only the body. So somebody knew this shloka, a killer. He was presented in the court and he quoted this shloka. Yenam vetti hantaram yasyenam manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanitaha nayam hantina anyate. Therefore, O judge, I am not the killer. The judge was also well read. He said, I am not going to punish you, the enlivening agency. The punishment is only for the body. Tikka kudrindi. Even in such gruesomest act, what gets hurt, what gets destroyed is only the physical layer. When the jiva leaves from this body, other than that physical aspect, nothing else is left behind. The mind, the functionality of organs of perception, action, the antakarana, the entire package is packed and taken along, and when it goes to the new residence, the next residence, it opens up this package and envelops that package. It's just the externality which is called the body, which is left behind. Somehow, those who lose their near ones and dear ones, on that moment when somebody dies in our family, those who are crying, in their crying also they are stating fact. In their utter grief, what are they saying? Mujhe chhodkar chale gaye. There also the understanding is, what is left behind is no more that which I was related to, that which I loved, that which I cared for. It is just a dead matter layer. That which was enlivening it has already quit that matter layer. But that spruha, that knowledge doesn't stay long. That this is just a matter layer, and that which is enlivening has no death. It doesn't stay long, it doesn't linger long. We get back to our daily routine and forget the fact. So what is he saying here? Those who think that there is a killer and there is something being killed, both don't understand. Because what is being destroyed is only the physical layer. That which is enlivening it cannot be touched, cannot be killed, cannot be mocked. Even in that gruesomest act, this is the Vedantic standpoint. It is not to usher and validate that killing is okay. That is not the standpoint that this message is given. Am I clearly stating it? Now, why do you say that that which is enlivening cannot be killed? So the next shloka explains that, and that also comes from Kathopanishad again. If somebody were to ask me what was the most favorite Upanishad of Bhagavān Krishna, I would say it is Kathopanishad, because he has quoted it so many times. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. This enlivening principle, na jayate, it is not born. That which is not born, can there be a death to it? There is no cause, there is no effect. There is no birth. Therefore, the natural conclusion is there is no death. Na jayate, na mriyate. See, we in this hall have several tube lights. मैं ऊपर वालों की बात कर रहा हूँ. We have several tube lights. Sometimes the bulb, it fuses and it doesn't give us light. So what do? We remove, because the filament must have broken, or that which has been charged, which will dispel this kind of brightness, that must have broken. So you remove it. And what do? You put another new one in the same place. As soon as the connection is given and you turn it on, the tube lights light up. Right here you can see there is one which is on the wall which looks very dim. These bulbs, they are different shapes and sizes. There are those which are hanging from up there which are little brighter than that. The brightest is hitting right into my face. The brightness or the dimness is not based on the electricity. Electricity is the same. Electricity is neither born nor dies. What dies is that name and form called a tube light, a bulb. And electricity is impartial. To all that which is connected, it will enliven it. The brightness is not the expression of electricity, it is the expression or the capacity of the individual bulbs. In the earlier days, when we used to construct bathroom and toilet separate, Right in the middle, there is a wall. Right on the top of that wall, there is a little rectangular opening given. Cost saving efforts. Right in the middle, there is one switch connected to one bulb. And usually that bulb is 0 watt. And I used to think that these are all my observations only. I am glad to see there are many who have a similar kind of experience. A 0 watt bulb. Now you cannot say that the electricity is being partial to the 0 watt bulb and giving favoritisms to the brighter bulbs. It is not the capacity, it is not the limitation from the electricity. It is a limitation from the bulb itself. Some light up really good, some light up delayed, some have dimness. That is the capacity of that instrument, not of the one that is enlivening it. That which is enlivening is never born, never dies. What has to keep getting changed? The bulbs. Similarly, this Chaitanya Tattva has neither birth, therefore it does not have death. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. In Kathopanishad, instead of kadachit, it is kutaschit. But the meaning is the same. Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. This tattva, there is never a past or a present or in the future where it ceases to exist. If the existence ceases to exist, can we ever call it as existence? It is called existence because it exists. Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. If these two sentences are understood, therefore, this reality, this real Nitya Tattva, Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam. It is Ajaha Nityaha Shashvataha Puranaha. Ajaha, Ja meaning Janma. Therefore, that which is born from wherever that is given, that Ja. The lotus is called Jalaja. That which is born from Jala, Jalaja. Parvati Devi was born to Himavan, therefore she was known as Shailaja. Himavan is a Parvata, Shila. Therefore, born to that is Shailaja. Lakshmi Devi is born in the lotus. It is not Jalaja. Padmaja. She is called Padmaja, born in that lotus. Ja means born. Aja. Aja has actually two meanings. Aja also means a goat. Daksha Prajapati, after he lost his head in the Veerabhadra comes and destroys the yaga where Shiva is not invited, and Sati Devi offers herself to the fire. So Daksha Prajapati loses his head. So the goat head is put on Daksha Prajapati. From then on, he is also known as Aja Prajapati. Aja Prajapati, the one who is goat-headed. I think it was Bhrigu, when that Veerabhadra saw Bhrigu, he held his dadi, beard, and yanked it. So he had lost his entire facial hair. So the Aja, the male goat, has a little beard. That beard was taken and put to Bhrigu. So technically the first fashion statement of somebody wearing a goatee was Bhrigu. Because Aja also means a goat. Here we are not talking about it. Here we are talking about Ja meaning Janma, Ajanma, that which does not have Janma. But because it is something which remains constant, Nitya, Ajo Nityaha. That which is constant, that which is eternal. Shashvataha, Shashvataha, that which is changeless, that which does not have any modifications. Sharira has lot of modifications. If you remember your Tattva Bodha class, what is the lakshana of this deha? Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati, iti shadvikaravat deha. This is the 6 different kinds of modifications of this body. Asti is conceived in the mother's womb. If you ever have seen those sonograph photos, it's little, very tiny. Even my finger is too big. It's very, very tiny. And then, by the 3 months, there is a form. By the 5th month, you see all the limbs. And by the 7th month, all the limbs develop. Asti has been conceived. Jayate, one fine day, thrown out into the world, born. Jayate. And then exponentially starts growing. First, we start growing in the y-axis. Then we start growing x-axis. The moment x-axis exceeds a certain limit, z-axis also comes into picture. We become 3-dimensional. Asti, jayate, vardhate, we grow. While we grow, there is also a transformation that happens, wherein the boy becomes a man and the girl becomes a woman. Viparinamate, there is transformation. And after the transformation, the next thing that happens to this body, vipakshiyate, kshiyate. Kshiyate, that which starts decaying. The first sign is white hair. The second sign, you start getting glasses. Third sign, it is not that the doors and windows have creaking sound, you are also equally competitive. Along with the doors and windows, the hinges, you also, when you sit down and get up, get it. I am not mocking. I am just stating that we all have to get to that stage. Kshaya. Then comes the stage wherein the appetite, metabolism starts decreasing. वो भी एक ज़माना था. There was once that time in my life wherein I could eat at least about 4 or 5 people's worth all by myself. Sweets, fried, spicy. Now I am on a special diet, seafood diet. Oh, you start eating the fish and the prawn. No. You only see. Seeing is your food. Everything else is restricted. seafood diet. Vipakshiyate, the digestion starts decreasing. Hearing starts decreasing. I am little skeptical about the hearing part, because these are the people, those who say I have a little hard to hear. When you talk secrets, वो सुन लेते हैं. When you are talking loud to them, but benefit of doubt, that also is kshaya. Vipakshiyate, viparinamate, changes. Vipakshiyate, decays, and then finally vinashyati. Whoever has whichever, ultimately all the internal organs should collapse. One by one they will stop functioning. However, support system that you may want to put. Practically now you can replace almost every part. Knee replacement, hip replacement. Is there shoulder replacement also? Or shoulder replacement? I mean, for such clarification, I am looking directly at the doctor. So shoulder replacement. Heart wall, there is now the pacemaker. That also can be replaced. Right? Everything is in the kshina avastha. That is the sharira lakshana. But the one that is enlivening, it does not have any aging symptoms. Ajaha, nityaha, shashvataha. Puranaha. Now Puranaha, don't interpret it in Hindi. In Hindi, Purana means that which is old. Here Purana means, the definition is so beautiful, Pura api nava, that which is ancient and yet ever fresh. Purana. There are no symptoms of any deterioration. Purana. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam Puranaha. And therefore, nothing can destroy it. Everything that which can be used for destruction is made up of Panchamahabhuta. We will come to that shloka later. And that which is subtler than the Panchamahabhuta, how can that Panchamahabhuta end up becoming a cause for killing this or destroying this tattva? Within the Panchamahabhuta, the first four elements cannot destroy Akasha. You cannot cut it. You cannot burn it. You cannot dry it. You cannot hammer it. When I build a house, it is a make-believe that the space is mine. Every time you say that this house is mine, this space is mine, Akasha is laughing. Original property rights is mine, says the Akasha. What are you claiming? Because the Akasha cannot be divided. When the first four elements cannot destroy the fifth element, that which is subtler than the fifth element, Akasha, how can any one of this even touch it? Na hanyate, na hanyamane sharire. The sharira can be destroyed. That which is enlivening the sharira, that cannot be touched. See, our ancient rishis, how in depth in every single topic they were able to sit down, meditate upon, analyze everything to its core. Therefore, aging is not considered as a wrong happening. Aging is considered as being now wise. Well, wiseness has nothing to do with age, But because even after having reached to that age, we see people otherwise. Death was not considered as the end of all. Therefore, our prayers, when you look into the prayers that are offered during that karma, it is bidding farewell to the continuance of that jiva to the next form. May this, that which I offer, reach to you in the other forms wherever you are transmigrating to. May this punya phala help you, because whatever I have, because most of it is done by the progeny of that who is departed. Therefore, the progeny is saying, I am what I am because of what you have given. So, as my faith in the system, the Shraddha, therefore it is called Shraddha. It is for the continuance, knowing that that jiva will continue in a different format. I am not going to speak on the Shraddha Karma right now, but that is the main crux of it, the synopsis of it. What is destroyed is only the body. Why do we suffer? It is because we are attached to that body which does not continue further. Even in that crying, that attachment, the crying is not because the person has gone. The person is, ab mera kya hoga? Tu to chala gaya, ab mera kya hoga? It is the loneliness, it is the life that has to be continued after. That is what becomes burdensome. Therefore, there is all the anxiety, fear and crying, misery. But even there, the truth is understood that what is left behind is only the dead matter. What is left is that Chaitanya, that which is enlivening it. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Re-emphasizing this thought as though giving it a conclusion to that particular thought. He says, Veda vinashinam nityam yayenam ajamavyayam katham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. Veda avinashinam nityam yayenam ajam avyayam. The same words which were used in the earlier sloka as a conclusion of that thought. He is saying that which is indestructible, that which is eternal, that which is imperishable, that which is not born. How can you even think that you are going to kill that? Kam ghatayati hantikam. There is nothing that can kill it, there is nothing that will be killed. So therefore, Arjuna, that body which is to be destroyed anyways, they have made a choice to stand for their own mindsets. Those that which you have to vanquish have chosen consciously to be on the side of adharma. If in protecting that dharma, they who are standing for adharma, if their bodies perish for their own wrong standpoints, even on our side, those who are trying to protect dharma from those who are practicing adharma, if they in their attempt in our offense and defense, if we get killed, we are dying, or the body is dying in trying to protect that dharma. Therefore, in protection of dharma, therefore the famous statement is dharmo rakshati rakshitaha, which in many forest areas they have changed this statement. Vriksho rakshati rakshitaha. It may be true, but it is copied from here. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. The one who stands up to protect that dharma, the dharma protects them. Therefore, what are you being scared of? What will fall if you shoot properly will be the body. And that which is enlivening that body cannot be touched. Whatever the adharma that they are standing for, their papa punya equation will be dealt in a different world that they will have to face. But here, to re-establish dharma, it is your responsibility. So don't get scared and walk away from this responsibility thinking that you are ending up killing. When you go to the extreme cold environments, you have to wear good protective gear. You have to take those protective measures. Specifically to the endings, hands, face, toes, you have to wear proper gear. Why? When it gets exposed to that extremities of cold, there is something called frost bite. In that cold environment, the cold kills the nerve endings. Though it is still connected to the body, it is almost equivalent to being dead. And in that dead, all that which starts growing will start eating up the rest of the body. So frostbite is the cause. It develops into gangrene. When such patient is brought in, what do the doctors have to do? They have to amputate. How cruel are these doctors? How can they end up cutting all these body parts? Don't they have a heart? They have a heart, therefore for the rest of the body to be safe, they have to essentially cut that portion which is now rotting. Gangrene is nothing but rotting. That portion is rotting, now you have to cut it out. It takes immense compassion to be cruel. Compassion from the standpoint of the doctor, cruel from the standpoint of the patient or the patient's relatives. But that is a compassionate act so that the rest of the body can be protected. Similarly, those who are not living a dharmic life, those who are propagating adharma to the they have to be uprooted. Nowadays, the academicians, the politicians, they are saying uprooting dharma. They have conferences. How to uproot dharma? To uproot dharma is very easy. Dharma does not get uprooted. Those who have to live the dharmic life, they fall away from dharma, they get destroyed. Dharma doesn't get destroyed. Who falls? It is not dharma that decays. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Glani is the decay. How can dharma, which is eternal, decay? Dharma doesn't decay. Those that have to practice that dharma implicitly in their life, when they slip, they get destroyed, they decay. When the entire society is of such decaying people, the society decays. Dharma doesn't get destroyed. All that it requires is the expressive mindset that can understand what dharma is and live that dharmic life irrespective of what the majority around you thinks. Therefore, Arjuna, they have made a choice to be on the side of adharma. You who have the responsibility to firmly established dharma again. Therefore, you have to fight it out on the war. Now, these arrows of yours will only pierce through the body and the body is killed. That enlivening principle cannot be killed. Having said so much, now Bhagavan introduces a very beautiful, impactful shloka. He says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. One of my friends who is a sadhu, he is a great tapaswin but not very good with memory. So whenever he used to refer to this shloka, he calls this that Sindhi shloka. I said, why Sindhi shloka? He says, all the Sindhi last names are in this shloka. Jirnani, Navani, Aparani, Sharirani, Jirnani, Navani. So all these Sindhi names. So he calls this as the Sindhi shloka. So what does this Sindhi shloka say? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. When a person removes the clothes, why? Its purpose is sun. You have worn it for several years and thereby now you are discarding it. When actually in Indian households there is no sense of discarding. You stop wearing it, that's all. Banyan gets holy, one or two holes. Then that banyan becomes a mopping cloth. And when that mopping cloths, several banyans have reached to the end of moppability, then they are all put together. Now it is used for wiping your feet. Abhi bhi nahi choda. Wiping your feet from the backyard. Front it may not look good, so backyard. It is still used. Over several such usage when almost nothing is left. Truly jirnani, completely consumed, recycled. Vasamsi jirnani. See, the clothes in Indian household has a very peculiar way. When the older child grows out of the cloth, it gets handed down to the next fellow, then to the next fellow, then becomes a mopping cloth, then becomes the foot wipe. By the end of that foot wipe, seriously, you want to discard, there is nothing to discard. So Vasamsi jirnani, the cloth that you have used and it has done its purpose, now it has started tearing up, the stitches have come out and the cloth itself, the fibers are coming out. So now you discard. And after discarding it, you wear a new cloth. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati. You take the new cloth. It's not just when the cloth is completely destroyed. Even for our various purposes, we keep changing clothes every day. Now you want to come to the temple, Temple is a sattvic place. In the northern Indian culture, they have a very good habit. When they go to temple, they wear white kurta, white pajama. Have you observed? That is the temple attire. The temple job is done, you come back, now you have to go to your office. Vihaya, you remove this, Navani Grunhati, that which is suitable for that environment you wear. And from office you have to go to a party. In a bag you have another set. Office attire, Vihaya, Navani Grunhati, that which is appropriate for the party. In a naval command base, I was once invited for some lecture. The naval commander there had a good sense of humor. So in the parties they will write whether it is a formal wear or whatever has to be the kind of attire that they have to come. So the dress code. So I was expecting that formals, informals or something. He said must. Dress code, a must. भैया कुछ पहन के आओ. So you go to the party wear is different. Now you come back home, you wash your hands and legs, maybe take a shower, and then change into again night clothes, pajama kurta or a nightie, that is called a nightie, that which is worn at night. But again, that is a universal dress code. उसके ऊपर एक दुपट्टा पहन लिया, कहीं पे भी चले गए. It is no more a nightie. It is sarvavyapi. So we change, and while we change from one dress to the other, one clothing to the other, every time I change, do I sit down, have a towel with me? Oh cloth, you have given me such protection from the weather, from the elements. Now I have to give you up. Do you have any such melodrama happening? निकाला, फेंका, दूसरा पहना, निकल गए. Isn't it? In fact, as mothers, you have to now sit on the heads of your children to say, the dirty clothes have to be in one place. Why is it all over the place? As mothers, do you scream that way? Those children that are sitting here, do your mothers scold that way? If your mothers are around, just move your eyelids, I'll understand. See, there is no melodrama involved that, I have to give up this cloth, I have to wear another cloth. I'll end with a very beautiful incident. In our Chinmay Mission Vijayawada, where I used to work, in the president's house. So a very huge family there is, combined family. So I had gone there for breakfast. The previous night was a young kid's birthday. And the entire family is on his case. As soon as I entered their house, what I see is that one fellow is sitting, all the elders are like, completely circled him here out. They're trying to convince him, Baba, your birthday clothes have become soiled. Change into another set of clothes. And he is like, na kotta batta. Kotta batta has become pata batta now. You have to wash it. He is refusing to change. So looking at that tense environment, I asked all the elders, please go, I will sit down and talk to him. So on the outside of the house, they have a swing. So I sat, he also sat. For 15 minutes, I explained as to why hygiene is important, why the old cloth has to be washed, why you have to take a shower. I explained it all and he was shaking his head. And I thought he was convinced. I take him inside. As soon as we step inside, he turns and points at me and tells the rest of them who are eagerly waiting for him to get out the clothes, పెద్ద చెప్పొచ్చాడండి, రోజు అవే బట్టలు వేసుకొస్తాడు. As a Swami or a Brahmachari, I wear the same orange every day. There is no combination of colors or different designs, nothing. Same kurta, same lungi. And from his age, he wears the same clothes every day and he now expects me to change my clothes. Unless you are childish, changing from one cloth to the other is not a big deal. Similarly, the wise, when this body changes, they don't grieve for the death. Good, I will get now a new body. What is there to be so scared of or regrets about? This is done, it has done its purpose. Bhagavan, give me a fresh one, better than this one, okay? Demand and wear it. Anyani samyati navani dehi. The newer body is acquired. There is no regrets in that. We will continue on this same shloka tomorrow. Om Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramayaः, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kasyat dukha bhavet, Asato ma sadgamaya, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, Mrityor ma amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.